fraction is equal to half. So from the diagram we conclude that ABC, this is one triangle, ACD is the another triangle. This is ABC. Here the angle at A is equal to 90. Angle made by AB with AC is equal to I. The distance traveled by the light from B to C is equal to V into T. Next here also ACD. Here A, C and D. And this angle at this point D is equal to 90. Here this angle is equivalent to R. Distance traveled by the light from A to D is equal to Vt, means A to D is equal to V into T. So that's why this is AC and this is also AC. It is Vt and it is Vt. This triangle ABC is identical to triangle ACD, means both the triangles are congruent. Both the triangles means congruent means, student, here AC is equal to AC, both are same. AB is equal to AD. Sorry. BC is equal to AD. BC is equal to AD, which is equivalent to CD. That's why AB is also equivalent to AC. Suppose if both the triangles are congruent means the angles made by the equal lengths. Angles opposite to equal sides are equal. Angles opposite to equal sides are equal. Here this is BC, this is AD. These two are equal means opposite to the side angle is equal to I. Then opposite is equal to R. That means angle I is equal to angle R. This is the first law of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Also from the diagram, the incident wavefront AB means this is like this. Incident wavefront AB is perpendicular to plane of the paper. Reflected wavefront CD is also perpendicular to plane of the paper. AC to the surface. The surface is also perpendicular to plane of the paper. That means AB, CD and AC are perpendicular to plane of the paper. That's why normal, here it is the normal. From the diagram it is the normal. Normal is perpendicular to AC. Here the normal is also perpendicular to AC. Normal perpendicular to AC. Also incident light beam. This is the incident light. The incident light AB, reflected light CD, AC, all these are perpendicular means N is also perpendicular to AC. That's why this is the incident light. Incident light here from the diagram, incident light is perpendicular to AB. Incident light is perpendicular to AB. AB is perpendicular to plane of paper, means the incident light must be lies in the plane of the paper. Similarly, reflected light is also perpendicular to CD. CD is perpendicular to plane of the paper. That means reflected light must be lies in the plane of the paper. So normal, incident light ray and refracted light ray, these three are lying in the plane of the paper. This is called second law of reflection. Angle I is equal to angle R, and also incident light, normal and refracted light are lying in the same plane which is in the plane of the paper. That's why the two laws of reflection are successfully explained using Huygens principle. Next one, proof of Laws of refraction. Proof of laws of refraction. Suppose see here this diagram. Let the light is incident on the surface along this direction. AB is the incident light. The light is going from first medium to second medium. This is the first medium, this is the second medium. Rarer medium or denser medium. Velocity of light in the rarer medium is V1 and in the denser medium is V2. So at the point A as well as at the point B, the distance traveled by the light from B to D, which is equivalent to V1 into T, where V1 is the velocity of light in the first medium. That means let V1 into T is taken as the radius and B at the center. Let us draw an arc. This is the arc. Also from A into the second medium, distance traveled by the light is equal to velocity into time, where velocity of light in the second medium is equal to V2 into T. When the light is traveling from rarer to denser medium, velocity of light will be less in the denser medium. Means the length A to C will be less. So V to T is taken as the radius and A is taken as the center of the circle. Let us draw the arc such that this is the arc. Now the common tangent drawn on this two circular arc use the new wavefront after a time of t seconds in the second medium. So CD is the new wavefront. Now again, from the diagram, normal angle of incidence is equal to I, and this is the angle 90 minus I. So that's why this angle is equal to I. Also, refracted light makes an angle R with the normal. R is called as the angle of refraction, and this total angle is 90, and this should be equivalent to 90 minus R. Now this is 90 always. It is 90. This is 90 minus R. It is 90. Compulsory this angle should be equal to R. Right? Okay. So from this diagram also, let us take two triangles A, B, D, one A, B, D, and second one A, C, D. A, C, D. AD is common in both the triangles. Here BD length is equivalent to V1 into T. AC length is equivalent to V2 into T. AB makes an angle I with the surface AD, and CD makes an angle R with the surface. Here this is AD is same in both the cases. Next, this is V1 into T, and this AC is equivalent to V2 into T. So this is the angle I and this is the angle R. From this triangle, sin I is equal to V1T by AD, opposite side by hypotenuse. In this triangle, sin R is equal to V2T by AD. Therefore, sin I by sin R is equal to V1 T by AD by V2T by AD. AD cancel, TD cancel, V1 by V2. Ratio of the velocities is also remains constant. Sin I by sin R is equal to V1 by V2, which is called the law of refraction of light. It is also called Snell's law of refraction. Snell's law of refraction. But here, relation between refractive index and velocity of light is mu proportional to 1 by V. Mu2 by mu1 equal to V1 by V2. Therefore, sin I by sin R equal to mu2 by mu1 equal to mu12, which is equivalent to constant always. It is first law of refraction. Also, from geometry, AD, AB, and also CD, all these are perpendicular to plane of the paper. That's why incident light, normal, and also refracted light must be lies in the plane of the paper in the same as refraction. That's why incident light ray, refracted light ray, and normal drawn to the surface all are lying in the same plane. That is called as the second law of refraction. That's why the laws of refraction also can be explained using Huygens principle. Also, from the diagram, from these triangles, sin I by sin r is equal to v1 by v2 is equal to constant. In the same way, cos I is equal to, what is the value of cos I? Cos I is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse AB by AD, and cos R is equal to CD by AD. Here what is AB? AB is the width of the incident light. AB is the width of the incident beam, and also CD is width of the refracted beam. Therefore, cos I is equal to AB by AD, cos R is equal to CD by AD. Then cos I by cos R is equal to AB by CD. AB is equal to width of the incident beam and CD is equal to width of the refracted beam. It is one very, very important formula, and there are some few problems in level 2 as well as level 3 also. Keep this formula in mind. What is this? Cos I by cos R is equal to width of the incident beam by width of the refracted beam. Do you understand? So, in the next one is principle of superposition of waves. Already, principle of superposition of waves. Already this formula can be derived in waves. Very, very simple only. Let us consider two waves. Both the waves starting at x is equal to 0. You know, displacement of the particle y can be represented by a into sine omega t minus kx. So at x is equal to 0, y can be written as a into sine omega t only. Let us consider two waves. Displacement of the first wave can be represented by y1 is equal to a1 sine omega into t. For the second wave, y2 is equal to a2 into sine omega t plus phi, where phi is equal to phase difference between two waves. Let this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Let these two waves are moving in the same direction or same line and superimposed together. According to principle of superposition, the displacement of the resultant wave is equal to sum of the displacements of the individual waves. Y bar is equal to y1 bar plus y2 bar. This is the principle of superposition. In the same way, there are n waves. According to principle of superposition, displacement of resultant wave y bar is equal to y1 bar plus y2 bar plus and so on plus yn bar. So this is equal to y1 is replaced by a1 into sine omega t plus y2 is equal to a2 into sine omega t plus phi. Or this is equal to a1 sine omega t plus a2 into sine of a plus b is equal to sine a cos b plus cos a sin b. Sine of a plus b is equal to sine a cos b plus cos a sin b. Sine omega t cos phi plus cos omega t sin phi. Or this is equal to a1 sin omega t plus a2 into sin omega t cos phi plus a2 into cos omega t sin phi. Here this is sin omega t. It's sin omega t. Common sin omega t in these two, we get a1 plus a2 cos phi into sin omega t plus the remaining one a2 sine phi into cos omega t for our convenience. So this is the equation. A1 plus A2 cos phi into sin omega t plus A2 sin phi into cos omega t. Let us consider this A1 plus A2 cos phi and A2 sin phi. Let A1 plus A2 cos phi is equal to, let it is taken as r cos theta, and second one A2 sin phi. A2 sin phi is taken as r cos theta. Because all these are the constant values, maybe r cos theta, this is equal to r sin theta. It is equation 3 and this is equation 4. By substituting these two values in the above equation, y bar is equal to r cos theta sin omega t, r cos theta sin omega t plus r sin theta cos omega t, or this is equivalent to capital R into sin omega t cos theta plus cos omega t sin theta. This is in the form of sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. So this can be written as sin of omega t plus theta. So this is the expression for equation of the resultant wave. Equation of the resultant wave, y equal to r into sin omega t plus theta, where r indicates the amplitude of the resulting wave, theta is equal to resultant phase difference between two waves. But how do you know the value of r? R value. R means it is the amplitude of the resultant wave. So, to find the amplitude of resultant wave, amplitude of resultant wave capital R. To find this value, equation 3 and 4. Suppose here, equation 3 is equal to, what is equation 3? Equation 3, A1 plus A2 cos phi is equal to r cos theta, A2 sin phi is equal to A2 sin phi is equal to r sin theta. Squaring and adding equations 3 and 4. R square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta. Because r square common, cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. Therefore, r square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta is equal to r cos theta means it is a1 plus a2 cos phi whole square plus r sin theta means a2 sin phi whole square. So common here r square and sin square theta plus cos square theta 1. Therefore r square is equal, squaring this value, a1 plus a2 cos phi whole square according to a plus b whole square, a1 square plus a2 square cos square phi plus 2a1 a2 cos phi plus here a2 square sin square phi. This is a1 square plus a2 square, here a2 square cos square phi and here a2 square sin square phi. By commoning a2 square in both the terms, a2 square into cos square phi plus sin square phi plus 2a1 a2 cos phi. This is a1 square plus a2 square, this is 1 plus 2a1 a2 cos phi. 2a1 a2 cos phi. This is the formula for square of the amplitude of resulting wave. Square of the amplitude of resultant wave. Again, you know, the intensity of the wave is also directly proportional to amplitude square. That's why intensity of the first wave I1 is proportional to A1 square. For the second wave I2 is also proportional to A2 square. And for the resulting wave I is also proportional to R square. Therefore, from the same equation can also be written as I square is equal to I1 square plus I2 square plus 2a1 a2 means a is proportional to here, a is proportional to root I. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ 2 root I1 root I2 into cos phi. So this is the formula for intensity of the resulting wave. Intensity of the resulting wave. Now the intensity of the resultant wave depends only on phase difference between two waves. A resultant amplitude also depends on the phase difference between two waves. For example, case 1, if phi is equal to 0 means there is no phase difference between two waves. Both the waves are said to be in phase. That's why by superposition of these two waves, amplitude or intensity will becomes maximum. So this is equal to R is equal to maximum, or intensity is also maximum. Therefore, from this equation, R maximum square is equal to A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2, because cos 0 is equal to 1. This is also equal to A1 plus A2 whole square. Okay na? Therefore, R maximum is equal to A1 plus A2. R maximum is equal to A1 plus A2. The same way, I maximum square is equal to I1 square plus I2 square. Sorry, and here I square is equal to, only I, because I proportional to R square. R square proportional to I. Here I1 only, here I2 only. So I maximum is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 root I2. So this is equal to, this can be written as root I1 plus root I2 whole square. This is the formula for maximum intensity. Next one, suppose the phase difference between two waves is case 2. Phase difference between two waves is equal to phi. Phi is equal to pi radians. Both are said to be in opposite phase. If phi is equal to pi, cos phi is equal to minus 1. Cos 180 is equal to minus 1. Therefore, R maximum square is equal to A1 square plus A2 square minus 2A1 A2, because cos phi is equal to minus 1. Or this is A1 minus A2 whole square. And R maximum